Well gone, people. It's your boy Interspurs back here with another video. I was meant to do the match reaction yesterday, but I was so tired after the game, you know. We haven't won a game for such a long while, so it was a relief to my system. Other video. Tottenham 2, Dortmund 0. This was an amazing match, and I'm just so happy for the boys. What a game, you know. We started first half with a bang, and you know the best thing about the game was the passion from minute 1 to half time. You know, we were playing with a squad that was frail from the start. You know, we had to play Jed Spence as a left winger, which I actually thought was absolutely great. You know, he actually done a great job on the left, and you know what, he actually attacked his man. There was a few chances where he's weaved through a good pass to the actual attackers running off in the corner, you know, and you know, like, it was a good performance overall. There's nothing more I can say. I was actually so proud of the boys, you know. Then Dortmund got a red card, which obviously made us, what's a good word, decide to come out second half and just sit back and contain. You know, we didn't actually have to take any risk. And overall, I think Frank got it right. You know, we were criticizing him. Well, I was, and a lot of fans outside of the stadium was criticizing him for dropping Tell, you know, because Tell has actively been our best attacking option for maybe 2-3 game weeks now, and he was dropped out of the Champions League squad. And I actually thought he was going insane, you know. Honestly, I didn't see the vision, but clearly I was wrong. Obviously, playing Solanke resulted us getting the goal early, you know. He managed to play around 60 minutes, which is obvious because, look, when a player has been out for a very long time, it's hard to rush them back in, you know. It's hard to actually like play all 90 minutes, especially under the conditions of how his injury was, you know, how long he's been. You know, we need to, like, make sure that he's fit. Another player that it's a shame because he's literally just been rushed back in and he's now injured again, you know, Lucas Bergvall. You know, it's a bit of me is saying, why did Frank risk a player like Bergvall, you know? But realistically, we only had 2 options, and that was Archie Gray and Bergvall in the middle, you know? So he was forced into a move where you're playing a player that is not currently fit, and now he's relapsed and he's had another injury, which God knows how long he's going to be out for, because we need our players back. We have so many injuries. We have too many holes to actually fix this squad. So now that Conor Gallagher signing actually looks like a world-class signing, because he's the only one that can actually play in an attacking midfielder and a number 8 role, which luckily enough we've got Conor Gallagher. Danso was great on the ball, man. He doesn't make that many efforts, you know, and it's becoming obvious that we need to start playing Danso more often. He was only playing because Van der Ven was obviously suspended for that game, you know, which means obviously now going into the Burnley game, you're going to obviously go with Romero and Van der Ven, which it don't sit right with me, because I think Danso just needs more game time. He actually definitely needs more game time. And he's going to be in another category of these players that maybe wants to go because he's not getting the game time. Look, Tell has been dropped out of the Champions League squad. I doubt he's going to stay at Tottenham because clearly Frank doesn't value him. Clearly he wants more game time. The reason why he actually came to Tottenham was to actually get game time, you know. play more games because he wasn't getting into the Bayern Munich squad. So he thought a step down from Bayern to Tottenham would be the chance where he could actually play more football matches, but it's not been that case. Who else do I need to talk about? I think I've covered all angles. Ultimately, let me just summarize this whole match. It was a great performance. We needed it. Frank needed to win. You know, all the interviews that I had, they were surprised Frank was even still in the job, and it's more it's more understandable that you would sack the manager that basically the whole fan base doesn't want in, but clearly they've kept him until the Dortmund game, and obviously he's managed this Dortmund game now. So look, you can't sack a man that has just won a match in terms of against a team that respectfully has only lost two currently in the Bundesliga, and that team is a great team. We were just better on the day, and obviously we set up to win. We've been losing so often, and it's just a good feeling to win. It's a good feeling to see goals go in the back of the net, you know. And yeah, good performance overall. Good performance. Now the question is, would I sack Frank? Look, I said Frank out. I'm still Frank out because I feel like this is just one result. Look, let me make myself clear. If performances get better on the pitch and we do start picking up a lot of points and we start winning matches, you can't sack a manager that is in good form, right? So I would stick to Frank, but I'm still Frank out. I would say I'm still Frank out. I don't like his style. I don't like. I'll give you nitpicking viewpoints, which you probably will disagree with me, but things like the second half we've come out against 10 men. Well, they're against 10. We're against 10 men now, right? So we have the extra man, and we've not decided to go for the third, go for the second. You know, like it's I don't know, like we haven't we didn't really set out in that second half to dominate like how we dominated in the first half, which could be a criticism, and it could also be viewed as a positive because you would expect to contain the match after you're 2-0 up. Look, that's not what we couldn't do in the what is it called, the cup final against PSG, which again resulted on us from going from 4-1 up to 4-4 for it to go into penalties. So it is a big, massive improvement in terms of how we've managed this game. And it's a win against Dortmund. It is definitely a win, which we have to give credit where credit is due. So Frank, you were right. You clearly decided to drop tail for Solanke and Solanke's squad, which clearly worked. And yeah, man, well, there's nothing much I can say. I'm happy for once. So it's like it's hard to do videos when you're happy and there's not that many talking points. Like I'm glad that we won for Frank's sake. I'm actually really glad. But yeah, come on, you Spurs. Yo, people, follow me on Instagram. That is 0TJ. Follow me on Twitter. That is Spursy Talks. Like and subscribe.